since we last got together, um, there were quite a few more guest announcements. Now, we didn't get any today. I was kind of hoping we would get another guest announcement today for Michael Myers Monday, but since our last report 2 weeks ago, um, quite a few more Michael Myers actors have been added to the guest lineup for what is going to be the most epic Halloween franchise reunion event of all time. I think it's safe to say that. I think they just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger every 5 years, and by all accounts, everything we're hearing, this one's going to be bigger. I mean, you guys bought out the VIP tickets in 7 minutes. So I think that right there is a pretty good indication of what we're dealing with. For those that don't know, just to recap real quick, this started with the 25th anniversary of Halloween way, 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 way back in 2003. They did the 25 Years of Terror event. And then, as a result, every 5 years since, there's been a massive franchise reunion fan convention event in Pasadena, California. Right there in the neighborhood where the original Halloween was shot. And it brings together all of the franchise alums that you know and love, as well as, many. I mean, we know and love all of them, but there are many that we know and love from the convention scene and are regulars out there. But then every year, every 5 years, there's always quite a few that aren't regulars on the convention scene, and in many cases have never done conventions, and it's their very first appearance. So we are covering the ongoing announcements as they are rolling out each week here on Michael Myers Monday. We are kind of recapping, and like I said, there have been quite a few more Michael Myers actors added to the illustrious guest list already. Now, when last we left, we had announcements confirming Nick Castle, Dick Warlock, Tommy Lee Wallace, Tyler Mane, James Jude Courtney, some pretty illustrious names already announced. Well, now we've got even more to add to that list. From Halloween 4, and one of only two men on planet Earth to have portrayed both Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees on screen, the great, the legendary Tom Morga joins the festivities at 45 Years of Terror. Now, as we go through each of these, I'm going to share just a quick anecdote and just a quick shout out, because in many of these cases we've met these gentlemen, and in many cases, as with Tom, they were kind enough to go on record with us for a few minutes. Now, in Tom's case, we've actually talked to him a couple times, running into him at a few events over the years, but our first meeting was 5 years ago, not coincidentally, at 40 Years of Terror, the H40 40th anniversary event. And Tom talked a little bit about working on Halloween 4, working on Friday the 13th 5, and how he and George Wilbur would ultimately both play Michael Myers on screen in H4. You can read my full interview with Tom Morga at HalloweenDailyNews.com. Also joining the lineup from Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, is Don Shanks, another fan favorite. Very cool man. We've had the pleasure of meeting Don a few times, again, over the years at various conventions. I think the first time we ever met him was at Mad Monster Party in Charlotte, probably about a decade ago. I'll have to pull out a photo sometime. He was carrying one of his H5 masks to the conventions with him at the time. He might still at this event. But in any case, I did interview Don as well. It's been almost 10 years. It was back in 2015 at Flashback Weekend in Chicago. Interviewed Don Shanks, and He talked about doing car shows even before he was doing horror conventions back in the 80s, because he was a regular on the hit TV series Grizzly Adams. You may remember he had a supporting role, one of the lead roles in that show, and obviously, like all these guys, working actor, has since appeared in so many films that we know and love. But another one that is very iconic with the horror community and for another holiday is, of course, Silent Night, Deadly Night, where Don Shanks plays the Killer Santa. He doubles for the Killer Santa in that film. So he's been an iconic slasher for both Christmas and Halloween holidays. And of course, Halloween 5, also infamous for introducing the character of the Man in Black, Don Shanks, notable as one of the illustrious members of the Halloween franchise community who has played not one, but two different characters on screen, and in his case, in the very same movie, because he plays both Michael Myers and, of course, the Man in Black as well. And there are other actors and actresses that can say that they've played more than one character in the franchise. Daniel Harris, obviously, one, and there are others, PJ Souls, just to name a couple. But Don Shanks, very notable. For maybe being the only Michael Myers who's played another character. Oh, that's not true, because now Nick Castle has played another character besides Michael Myers, so he's not alone in that respect. But very cool to have Don announced. Also joining the lineup at 45 Years of Terror, our friend A. Michael Lerner from Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers. Both A. Michael Lerner and the late, great George P. Wilbur portrayed Michael Myers in Halloween 6, also known as The Curse of Michael Myers. You can also read my interview with A. Michael Lerner, also at HalloweenDailyNews.com. That interview was also conducted 5 years ago at 40 Years of Terror. And we talked about how he worked on the film after, in this case, George Wilbur had done his work on it. And his dad also was among the extras in the film. He got to murder him. I believe he was stunt coordinator for H62, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure. You guys will correct me if I'm wrong. But very cool to see A. Michael Lerner added to the lineup once again. And our friend Doug Tate. That's right, Douglas Tate. He has appeared in many of your favorites over the years. He did a little bit of doubling in a key moment for Halloween Kills for the great James Jude Courtney. Douglas Tate added to the lineup. This is his first time as a guest at a one of these terror events, one of these Halloween reunion events. Of course, 5 years ago, they hadn't made Halloween Kills yet, so he was not part of the franchise yet. But now he is among the men to wear that mask on screen. If you're confused, Doug appears, he was the one to actually take the jump up and then later off of the SUV in that SUV attack scene. That's actually Douglas doing that. And you can hear Doug talk all about shooting that sequence, getting on set, and not just the logistics of it, but how much it meant to him. What a huge fan he is himself. He's one of us guys, and it was a big deal and a huge deal and just a career full circle moment for him to be on set there in Wilmington when they shot HK. So very cool to see Douglas announced. And again, you can watch my interview with Douglas Tate from 2021 elsewhere here on the HDN channel. I have put a link to that one in the description of this video. One more guest has been announced, also from Halloween Kills, appearing as Michael in that amazingly reconstructed 1978 flashback sequence that we all were so impressed by, just on every level. How Loomis looked, how the 78 mask looked, how Haddonfield looked, and the cinematography and the lighting, how it really captured that feeling, and not the least of which, I think we all agree that Aaron did a great job. I've not interviewed Aaron yet, one of the few men to be announced so far that I have not had the pleasure of interviewing yet. I'll say yet, coming for you in Pasadena, Aaron. um, but um, but I did interview James Jude Courtney, of course, a number of times, and when we talked to him in 2021, when we talked to James in 2021, one of the first things we talked about was his collaboration with Aaron Armstrong on this character and how they both practice the same type of martial arts that is all about gliding, and not really walking or stepping, but gliding over the ground, all of which sounds incredibly Michael Myers and James Jude Courtney for that matter. So obviously they were very much in sync on their portrayal, and it just comes through really cool. And again, should go without saying, but this will be Aaron's first appearance at one of these Halloween reunion events. He and Doug, of course, joining the franchise as of 2021 in Halloween Kills. He was also the stunt coordinator for that film as well. So the event continues to shape up quite nicely. Pun absolutely intended there, but give me your thoughts in the comments on this lineup, on all of these Michael Myers actors. I mean, they're not done by any stretch. I mean, they're only just begun, really. Um, but again, pretty good lineup to kick things off here and get things going for 45 Years of Terror. Of course, you can learn more at Halloween45.com or anytime at HalloweenDailyNews.com as well.